Hey guys, I'm just out fighting with some stumps on the field edge here. Going to have to keep myself busy with, get this microphone a little closer maybe, see if that's any better. I have to keep myself busy with this sort of work for a week or so because I won't have parts for the rock picker until end of next week at the earliest, which is fine. There's other more important things going on in the world right now than my parts needs. So I'm just going to do some of this type of stuff, make it a little bit of a mess, but I'm trying to keep the majority of this all out on the field edge so that I don't make a whole bunch more work for myself. Just trying to break a few of the main roots, and then I can wad this thing up. So the whole goal of all this work that we're doing out here in these fields is to make it a nice surface and a nice field to have in hay production. With the corn, you know, you're cutting corn at 18 or 20 inches or something like that. So if the surface is rough, it just means that you're getting a less enjoyable ride when you travel, there we go, over the field, but it's not likely to break equipment. When you're mowing hay, you know, I'm mowing typically somewhere between 2 and 4 inches of length. So you're right down there at the ground level with the mower. And, you know, small rocks are not going to be a super big deal, but even the big rocks, you'll break stuff, you'll bend blades, you'll hurt the mower. I'm just setting these stumps out here in the field for right now. I'm going to come back with the dump trailer and the tractor, and I'll load all these up and haul them over to the edge of the field and push them off to the rock. Yeah, you have to prep your field for the crop you're growing. It makes sense, right? I'm gonna clean that other edge up once I have the dump trailer out here. So I think maybe we'll scoot up here. There's a couple of rocks along the way that we can try to pop. You know, stuff like this. The rock picker just jumped over it when it came through, but I can just pop that up so it's easy to see, so that I don't forget to grab it. It's kind of weird. This is actually basically the same machine that I spend. There's one that I spend my day in at work during the summer. We like these minis when we're doing work on the road because they're real maneuverable and they don't take up the entire 2-lane road. You know, we have a slightly larger excavator that we can run at work, but you're really hard pressed to make a swing and load trucks without really having to fight the utility wires and without having to really look at that thing. That was planted just like a tooth, basically. If you look at it, it looks like I just uprooted a tooth. I'm just going to set this here again. I'm going to see if I can get Meg to chase me around with the dump trailer one day. I'll have to bring some small rocks or something up here to fill that hole in with. Yeah, that's a good one to get out of there. Yeah, so anyway, I spend the majority of my days this time of year in a machine just like this. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for ridges where the where the rock picker bounced up pretty high, because that means there was a rock there that it couldn't deal with. So there's a couple over here. Maybe we'll go get them real quick. I'm trying to not spin in one spot too hard. I don't want to make a bunch of ridges I'm going to have to come chase after the fact. These little guys here were just a little recessed, so we'll just make them a little more visible. This guy right here, we definitely want rocks like this to not be here. That'll put a curtain on the mower. We can take that little bit of debris. I'm a little bit not smooth here. Sometimes I get in too much of a hurry, or I'm thinking about too many other things while I'm running one of these. I get a little jerky, so my apologies. This guy here is just on the surface, if I remember right. It's just too long a thing to fit in the picker. So he can keep this guy company until I come back for him. And that should just cuff off. I don't think there's anything else in that. Just blending these out. That'll be that. This field's likely going to get one more pass with the rock picker if I can get it back together and keep it from breaking for 10 minutes, it seems like. You guys probably know that trick, but I'm just trying to keep from making such huge ridges. So I want to go look at this. See, when you do that, you leave a little tiny pinwheel of a ridge, but you can knock that down. The rock picker will smooth that out. I don't think we're going to do anything with this. I think this rock here is connected to that rock over there that the trees are growing out of, but we're here, we might as well see if it wiggles, or if it's got roots. It's got roots. It's got lots of roots. That's not going anywhere. It's worth pulling on it, but it's not going anywhere. This whitish colored rock that we get out here is very hard. See how it fractures like that? Oh, it moved. It moved. Now we're going to be here for a while because I saw it move. Yep, it definitely moved. So let's go ahead and strip the soil off of it. Get a little different position. This is where you get yourself into trouble, people, is I'm pivoting here because this whole area will end up being a bit of a mess. I'm going to have to fix this. So I'm just doing this in a hurry. I'm not taking my time. We're going to make a little bit of a mess, but if we can get this puppy here on, it'll be worth it. What I can do is I can, depending on how big a hole we end up with, I can always come back with a load of the picked rocks. Or I'm not done picking rocks out here. I can dump rocks right into any of these holes and then just come back and smooth them over and scrape up a little bit of soil from around them and cover them over. But if you backfill these holes, you definitely want to leave them a little bit high, so you're going to get some settling. And but if you use those rocks, you don't get as much settling. actually are. Up on it a little bit. It's like a sweet spot for leverage on these. What I'm doing here, I don't know if you can tell, is I'm not just, hooking on it and pulling, because you're never going to amount to anything. The greatest leverage you have on the, I lost a tooth. Let me see if I can find that tooth real quick. But the greatest leverage you have on these machines is when you curl the bucket. So I'm trying to curl the bucket, but I'm leaving the heel of the bucket on the ground so it's supported. And so I'm really trying to limit so what I'm doing is, as I curl, I'm booming out with the dipper so that I plant that heel like that so that I don't get any deflection, so it gives you a lot stronger pull. Let me go see if I can find that tooth real quick. Just can't have nice things. Just can't have nice things. I'll stay away from that shank. See what else I can get done with this. I'll grab a tooth on Monday. There it goes. Now, wasn't that worth doing? All we did is we popped the very top off that big nugget. There's another big nugget under there. Oh, look at that happy earthworm. We like seeing that. That was worth it. And actually, that's kind of a best case scenario, because now I think I can just buff this dirt out over the top of that. I'll leave that puppy right there. That rock that's underneath me back up, you can see. Boy, that makes somebody a heck of a step, wouldn't it? I'll have to get a photo of that and send it to a friend of mine. Her father is crazy for these big flat rocks. But we got that puppy there, and I'm pretty happy about that. That's kind of the best part of my day so far, because everything's just been breaking. So let me move this over here, and you know what, I'm just going to set this here. Whoops. It's heavy. You tip bad like that, just don't panic, just relax. There's what we got left. I don't think that's going to give us another layer. If it gives us another layer real easy, I'd take it, but I'm not going to get greedy. I don't want to peel any more teeth off of this bucket. I don't want to hurt that shank. So this is just a rental machine, but there's no reason you need to be an absolute lunatic just because it's a rental machine. You know, those guys, their machinery gets whooped pretty bad. It's not necessarily fair. So I'm just gonna scavenge up a little bit of this dirt, see how much we come up missing. be close. It's gonna be awfully close. These big rocks have a tendency to collect dirt around them over the years, just from how people have to do tillage around them or plant around them, and then you get buildup. So when I pulled away all the soil from around the base of this rock, it actually adds up to something. All I will do, track right across there, we'll grab this, back blade this onto it, if we get any traction at all. Yeah, we're going to be fine. I'm not going to have to go scaring up anything, actually, because we got lucky and just popped the top off of that puppy. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. And I'm just also tracking in right now. This whole process of driving over the ground that I'm working on is kind of on purpose, because it's tracking it in, and that'll help with not having a big void here after the fact. Might have to do a little bit of touch-up work, but man, I'm happy with how that is coming out. What a difference that will make to not having to steer around that for the next 20 years. That's the thing you have to bear in mind when you see this. It might seem like I'm being obsessive, but any changes I make now, or any changes I don't make now is probably a better way of looking at it. Any changes I don't make now, I'm going to be living with in this field for probably the next 20 years, because it's not like I'm going to come back through and just till this field up for no reason, unless we have a major change in the market that we're trying to accommodate, or major change in the direction of what we're doing with our operation. This is going to be a hayfield for 20 years. So it's worth taking the time and doing it right now, because whatever I leave this as is how it's going to be. I'm super happy with that. What do you guys think? Should we go knock some trees over real quick? I like knocking trees over. Oh yeah. That is how you deal with trees. It's always easiest to pull stumps when they still have a tree attached to them. And I'm just going to get a little bit of that dirt back to fill my hole in with. There you go. It's also easiest to strip your stumps down from all the soil that they contain when they still have a tree hooked to their other end. Otherwise, a stump this small would just be all over the place on me while I'm pulling on it. Oh, so let's do this. How about this? Let's pop a couple roots over here, get this bush out of the way. We'll pop a couple roots, and then we'll drive around down below and we'll just push this little cherry tree over, just like we did the other one. And then we'll rub everything up on the bottom side of here, and then we'll see how it looks. Whoa, that's a rocky son of a gun. I've never dug up here. I don't have any idea what I'm hooking into, and for the first second or so when you're pulling on something, it's awfully hard to tell whether it's rock or root, but those are all rock. I have no idea how easy or hard this sucker's going to tip over. But I'm not finding a whole lot of root roots on this side of the trunk. There's some. Alright. See what happens. Yeah, my thought process is if I can strip all the soil off these ledge outcroppings, then maybe, just maybe, I won't have so many weeds to keep up with, because I mean, the reality is I'll still have them. I can't mow right up to the stupid rock. I'll still have to come out and either brush hog around this, or trim around it, or spray around it, or something. The cleaner I can keep it, the better. It's certainly going to look a lot better without all this junk growing here. So let's just clean up our approach real quick. Rubbed it a little bit there with the dipper, but nothing serious. Alright. We might not have quite enough machine for this tree. Let's see. Oh, she's going. She's a goer. Alright, we'll have a little bit of a mess to pick up out there with some sticks, but not the end of the world. I'll push it around before I cut it up. Push it around a little bit before I cut it up, just so I don't make more of a mess than I have to have. I swear, I think picking sticks up is worse than picking rocks up. I got a machine for picking rocks when it's not broken. I don't have a machine for picking sticks. Makes me sound awful lazy when I put it like that. Trying to not get any lines close to anything. You know, for being a small machine though, this is a Takeuchi 290. That's what this is. And for being a small machine, man, this thing is awesome. I mean, that was cross-track. It's just a little tree, I know, but we've tried the Bobcats at work. They're what are they? They're E90, E95, something like that, I think is what they call them. Well, that's not bad at all. Not too many sticks. Yeah, E85 or an E90 or something. I think we've had at work, and look, they beat the snot out of a shovel, but they don't have nearly the stability that these Takeuchis do, and they don't have nearly the lifting power that these have. These things are on a whole nother class. We're supposed to try a Volvo out this year because they're talking about buying a Mini instead of renting. So I'll be curious to see what the Volvo does. But man, it's going to have to really bring its A game, I think, to even come close to holding a candle to these things. And the cab in here is huge. I mean, this thing, let me spin you around for a sec. This thing is huge, the cab in here. I've got shoulder room for days. You know, I'm not a massive guy. I'm 6 foot tall, 205 pounds or so, and I got all the room in the world in this thing. This is just comfort for days, which is great because I do spend a lot of time in it. I mean, I've got the seat pushed forward because I like to run the controls with my feet while I'm doing stuff without having to reach so far. But I could be, now my water's back there, I could be back further if I wanted to. So these things are awesome. I would have one in a minute, along with all kinds of other stuff, but I'm super grateful that we rented one this year. All right.